Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which I have the pleasure of talking about a French tank because today we're going to focus our attention on the BatChat 25T. Let me be straight with you, I do not like this tank at all. I try to play it as less as possible simply because I feel like the other light tanks are way better in their fields. But still, this thing you're seeing right there has a lot of options when it comes to the playstyle because you are extremely fast and you have an autoloader. Because this autoloader right there has some specificities that will make it more comfortable to play than any others. First, we could talk about the DPM, which is quite high considering we are playing an autoloader, because here you have 2.8 thousand, which is definitely good. On top of that, 2.6 seconds of aiming time, which will definitely allow you to get really precise when you're shooting. Now, of course, it comes with disadvantages, such as the fact that you only have 6 degrees of gun depression. And to be fair, 6 degrees is not that much and will probably not allow you to be versatile on pretty much every single hilly terrains this game has to offer, which can be from time to time a little bit frustrating. Now, of course, 14 seconds of reload for the whole magazine to feature 3 shells and 2.8 seconds of reload between shells. I would say it's a little bit too slow. 2.8 seconds to only inflict 310 alpha damage. It will take you nearly 6 seconds to unleash your 930 alpha damage per burst. And to be fair, this is not something you could expect a light tank to do, simply because with a light tank you're not supposed to take shots, you are not supposed to stay at the same position, and being blocked for a whole 6 seconds in order for all your shots to go in can be frustrating. Now, of course, we're talking about light tanks, so the mobility is just excellent, even if the average speed is slow compared to the Vickers Light, for example, because in average we go to 48 kilometers per hour, but do not worry, when you're playing with it, you're usually going to go to 65 like everyone else if you use the right provisions and the right equipments as well. And talking about equipments, this is pretty much how I'm equipping mine. I'm not going to bother explaining to you why, because I'm literally using all of those on every single one of my autoloaders. So if you don't know how to equip it, feel free to copy. Now guys, concerning the playstyle, we have the pleasure of watching Fire Phoenix playing his BatChat 25T. And I decided to feature this game on the channel simply because it's an amazing one, and it also shows the main problem the BatChat can have when it comes to big carries, which is the lack of ammunition. Because if you take a closer look at your munitions, you will see that, well, you are not getting a lot of different shells. This is a problem, and even if it's a small problem because it's only for the big carries that you will need it, let's say that it can be frustrating. So there we go. As we can see, he tried first to go to the top, and now he's going straight on the BatChat. And I love that he's switching directly to HE shells instead of shooting with AP. Even if he failed 1 shot out of 2 with HE, it's not a problem, but you would rather be able to use all your HE shells as soon as possible with this tank rather than having to use your AP and miss them later on. So now, of course, he's keeping his way to this part of the map. It's working very well for him. He's taking the shots on the tracks as well, because that's what you're supposed to do. And when it comes to the overall playstyle, let's say that you want to be either where your enemies are not expecting you, or be somewhere where you have the possibility of circling in open fields like our friend is doing. He's taking a little bit too much risks, in my opinion, by being in the open right now, because if the WT Alf Panzer IV, oh no, he's on the other side, he must have seen that. But let's say that if the WT was behind right there, would have been able to sneak an HE on that poor boy. So there we go, our friend is going for some shells once again, and he goes once again for the HE. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. 2 of them went in straight, allowing him to already get to 3k damage. And now the real question is, how should he react? You see that he went on the medium light tank side. He left the rest of his team that went on the right side, and he did for the best, because as a BatChat, he's not supposed to go on this side. But now he has to pick up a choice. It's either he comes back into his own spawn and maybe try to hide himself behind bushes or something like that, like he was a tank destroyer, in order to prevent and to ambush the opponents. Or he could stick with the rest of his team. As you are an auto-loader, but you have a good mobility, you could do both. But to be fair, what works the best is obviously keeping it real by staying with the rest of your team. Because otherwise, let's say that you are gonna get probably wrecked as soon as you're reloading. And I love how instead of pushing through the rest, pushing with the rest of his team, he's going first on the WT. Because doing this, it will allow him probably to get first the shots in, eliminate the latest HE shell he has to eliminate, but most importantly, avoid the Ice 8 and the BatChat that is now dead to get shot from behind. So there we go, he has to go away, he's locating the biggest target and he is jumping straight into them. I like how he's using his mobility to circle around and drive around. This is exactly what we are expecting from a BatChat. You are not supposed to push forward on full life opponents, you are supposed to eliminate the low life targets, and this is what you would need to do with the Leo 1, for example, any mediums or even light tanks, especially in the end game. So there we go, he's still keeping it real with the low life target, and now he's focused on the chieftain. And I love, and I'm not sure that he did that on purpose, but I love how he sneaked a shot on the chieftain, but on the tracks. Doing this, he allowed himself, or he forced the chieftain to use his repair kit. So now all he has to do is reload and circle the guy. Even if he takes a shot in the process, it's not a problem because, well, he got lucky with the Amarak. From time to time, you gotta be lucky, guys. I'm not gonna blame my guy here to have a lucky Amarak. He went straight for that ammo and he went twice for it. It worked. Congratulations for him. And now he has to deal with the Kranwagen. So there we go. First shot in, second shot in, maybe third shot in. He knows he's gonna take a shot, but he don't cares. And it allows him to get to 8k damage and 6 kills. A game definitely well played because our friend right there knew exactly what he was doing. He was map aware, which is a necessity when you're playing with the BatChat, but not only. He also knew when to push, when to circle. He focused on the low life targets that were lonely, and this is what you're supposed to do with the BatChat in the end game, and this will allow you to get those kind of juicy games that you don't see that often. So yeah, in the end, thank you Fire Phoenix for sending me this replay because you exactly showed us how you're supposed to play the BatChat. And guys, if you're thinking about having a light tank at tier 10, please do not get the BatChat, get the others, because this one is the least played, and for the good causes. This is literally underpowered when compared to its two counterparts, the Vickers Light and the Sheridan. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe, like and share, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.